Alright guys, welcome to my Vorinclex. This is the Historic Brawl Deck Tech. Historic Brawl, 100 card singletons. You have to pick a legendary creature or commander as your, a commander or planeswalker as your commander. So pretty unique, pretty interesting stuff here. We're going to go through this quick little deck tech and look at what's the different cards in it. A lot of these are interchangeable. There's some interesting stuff that's just my personal preferences. If you have a different preference, feel free to edit some of these things out. But you'll look here. We're going to be running Vorinclex, so that's going to be our commander. Want to just make sure that we're looking at the correct one, just in case we don't recognize the art. It's gone and thrown him into, there we go. And so he is, it's bugging out. So he is, of course, the 6-mana 6/6 Praetor, Trample Haste. His big thing is counters. Okay, if your opponent is going to get counters, cut him in half. If you're going to get counters, double them up. So this is a Super Friends deck essentially with some +1/+1 counter themes, as well as a little infect death touch theme, just because alternate win cons are nice to have. But it's mostly Super Friends. I mean, you drop a Planeswalker, they enter with double the loyalty counters, you can instantly ult them, and it's hard to not win the game at that point, really. So we're going to go into this. A little bit of +1/+1 counter stuff. Death touchy, +1/+1 counter. That can also be a land. You know, we're not leaning too heavily into this sort of +1/+1 theme, but there's enough of it there that we can justify a board state, right? Cobra, little death touch, little counter. Here's the reasoning for that. Is of course having these alternate abilities here. Elysian Caryatid, great card. We need a little bit of ramp here. Lotus Cobra, also some ramp. Horn Beetle with the counters, Ranger class with the counters, Florahedron for some ramp, Death Touch theme, ramp. Greatness is just a great card. If you're running green, anything, and it's enough green where you can find 2Gs pretty early on, it's really worth having. That ability to just get a free card, you know, if you have a 6-mana, like if you have Vorinclex down and Nyx Bloom Ancient is in your hand, okay, great, I get a free Ancient, and now I get to tap all my lands for triple the mana, all my permanents for triple the mana. So, great card. If you have Greatness, put it in the deck. Werewolf Pack Leader, again, just having some sort of ramp ability. This card isn't phenomenal or anything. If you can think of a better card, take it out, but it's not uncommon for you to attack with 6 or less power in this, so swing, you know. Azusa is great for this ramp. You know, we're going to run Cultivate and things like that to help get extra lands. I just had a game, the last game I played, where I had Lotus Cobra down, Azusa down, and the Dryad down. Both of those let you play extra lands in a turn, so 2 and 3, so you can drop 4 total lands in a turn with the Lotus Cobra down. Next thing you know, I was able to hit and immediately ult one of my Vivians. I'm sorry, one of my, oh my goodness. One of my, the other one. The one that gets you, we'll go into it, but the one that gets you all of the lands from your deck, essentially. So, next thing you know, generated 29 mana, dropped an Ugin. This deck just goes off, right? So that's what you're looking for. You're looking to have a big turn, lots of ramp, and just go off. Oftentimes your opponents just scoop, okay? So you've got this extra land package. You got Garruk's Uprising, just getting extra cards. You know, this guy letting you tap for mana. The +1/+1 counter's nice because you're going to get extra stuff. He doesn't really have an ultimate, so he's not necessarily as big into the Super Friends package, but again, the ability to just be able to get 2 +1/+1 counters on all your guys, do it to 6 different creatures, you know, I mean, it just kind of helps with the ramp. Llanowar Visionary, of course, drawing ramp. Vivian here, you know, cast your creature spells as though they had flash. Not a bad card to have, especially on a turn where you can have tons of mana. Freyalise, that ultimate, getting Regal Force is absolutely insane. This is essentially a 3-mana draw, 6/7, pretty commonly. So it gets insane in there. Harbinger, Proc Black is really good. Letting you grab a Garruk Planeswalker is really good. Mammoth is good with the landfall triggers, or just drop him as a land if you need to. Yaris is fine. I mean, every time you complete a dungeon, you're getting a 2/2 wolf. He's got reach, so that's helpful. Plus, there is the green planeswalker, the Freylis, that cares about completed dungeons. So it's not a super common thing to complete or a heavy theme in this deck at all. But with those two cards in there, it's at least something. Circle of Dreams Druid, obviously great. Old Growth Trill is obviously great for. I mean, 4 mana 4/4 or 3 mana 4/4 trample is good regardless, and then the ability to get the ramp off of him is really good. Yorvo, of course, 3 mana 8/8 if we've got Klex in play, and then every time something enters, he gets 2+1/+1 counters regardless. It's not often that you'll drop something that's greater than 8 power, so you kind of lose that sort of middle ability or that last ability there where you've got something that's greater than his. But I mean, he's a 3 mana 8/8. You really can't complain. Adversary is part of the Death Touch package, but also part of the drawing package. Struggle for Skemfar, +1/+1 counter. It's a removal spell. Toski, great card. This is the squirrel, of course. So just drop him when you've got a bunch of stuff. Swing big, get all your stuff. Draw a bunch of cards off of him. Keep your ramp going. Keep your going. Arastra, just for the reach, essentially, getting those 1/2 reach spiders. This doesn't have a whole lot of reach cards, even though if you look at the art of everything's like giants, but it doesn't have a whole lot of reach cards, so being able to reach up into the sky and grab some of that stuff is really good. Eliwick, of course, the thing is if you've completed one dungeon off of your boy over here, your Yaris over here, Varus, I should say, you complete one dungeon off of him. Next thing you know, whenever you do get to drop Eliwick and Alter, oh man, trample haste and +2/+2, that's incredible. And she sticks around after she ults. There's only one planeswalker in here, I think, that doesn't stick around once they get doubled in ult with Vorinclex. So I think that being able to plus her later is not bad either. So that's there. Garruk Unleashed, of course, great ult. Great neg, great plus. I mean, really, just whatever. Even if you have to drop this guy on turn 4 before you play Vorinclex, if you're just missing the ramp drops and everything, and you drop him on turn 4, being able to plus him and say, hey, look, we're gonna get your creature +3/+3, get him trample, get him swinging, whatever we have to do. It's really, not a bad turn 4 play. Kolvari, I don't really. There's a lot of legendary creatures in this deck. You can totally play this guy as his front side, as his Kolvari side. Personally, I usually just drop him on turn 2 as the crest, and I choose something like Beast, something like Elf, and being able to cast my legendary creatures gets me my commander quicker, and then also getting those creature types. So for Elf, if I want to play, any of my druids that kind of help me gain mana, if I want to play OKM adversary, so just it kind of helps to be able to have that ability to just get those quicker, get to your ramp faster, ramps you faster, right? So but nothing really wrong with playing him on his front side either, especially if you've got your commander out, because then you just need one more, and now he's a 6/6. That's not horrible with vigilance, right? Vivian is great. I need to put some cards in the sideboard. I just can't think of anything that I wouldn't just already put in the deck. So if you guys can think of anything, please feel free to leave it in the comments of this video. But my thought process is, a plus that puts 2+1/+1 counters on up to 2 target creatures, and then they gain trample. Okay, well now that's 4 on 1 creature and give it trample with Klex. That's 2 on 2 creatures with trample and give it Klex. So it's really kind of your oyster. And then of course that ultimate to just be able to grab any creature from a sideboard, put it into your hand, or even its neg 3 is a kill spell that you can do twice when she not in one turn obviously, but when she enters, bang bang, really knock that out. Cosmos Elixir, this is just in here because it's a good card. There's not a whole lot of non-creatures or this, but being able to keep you in the game, 2 life a turn's great. If for whatever reason you've gained that life back, it can get you drawing some cards. Hornbeetle is great. You're putting counters on creatures. If you drop Yorvo or something and Hornbeetle on the same turn, oh boy, I'm gonna get me 8, or 10 Hornbeetle tokens. I mean, that's not nothing, especially when you drop a Planeswalker ult that gives all your creatures +2/+2. Right now I've got 10 3/3s. Forerunner, this is just a good little finisher. Make sure that all those creatures you've been buffing this whole game can finally get through. Return of the Wild Speaker, again, drawing cards is great, or if it's my finisher, all my non-humans +3/+3, huge thing. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. It's going to make all my non-token creatures forests. I mean, there's later in the game where I have a bunch of, just dudes out on the field that are, 2/3s, 2/1s. If my Lotus Cobra sticks around, my, Horn Beetle doesn't really get procced a whole lot and sticks around, that kind of stuff, well, then I can play this guy, and now I can tap all my dudes and play out another big spell, Battle Mammoth is great when they start targeting your things with removal. Okay, cool, I'll just draw off of it, kill my thing, I'll play another one. And the Foretell is always good on this. Gargaroth, one of the few reachers, getting you life, getting you draw cards. He's vigilant, so swing with him as often as you can. 5 mana, 6/6 with 3 abilities is already such a great thing. And then 3 optional abilities every time he attacks or blocks. So this is a great card. Iron Scale Hydra, I don't need to explain it. +1/+1 counters the damage. 5 mana, 5/5 as he hits the stack. So, I mean, he's just great. Keeper of Fables. This is strictly worse, Toski, but it's a 100-card singleton deck, so let's go ahead and put 2 options in there. At least they'll let me draw 1 card on my 5-mana creature, if I can't draw 5 cards off of my 4-mana creature, right? Nissa, Vital Force, that's insane, ultimate ability is insane, and the fact that she'll stick around with 4 loyalty counters is crazy, absolutely crazy. This Nissa Who Shakes the World, also an insane card. It doubles all of your mana from your forests, so that's insane. And then a +1, but that -5 is really the big thing to do. I mean, that's really the crazy thing to do, is put all those lands into play tapped. If she sticks around that turn, the next turn you've got 40 lands on the field, and they all tap for 2. I mean, you got to be able to find something to do with that, right? Vivian Reed. Great card. That emblem ult is insane. That -3 just for that pesky artifact or enchantment that's messing you up. Really, really strong. Monstrous Advocate, being able to cast creature spells off the top of your library. This is a great thing. So you've had this big turn where you get all this stuff and you just are trying to find the answer to get through. I've played all my stuff. I've got all these emblems. I just need to be able to get through. Okay, great. Let me start playing every creature off the top of my library. Every land in my deck's on the battlefield. They all tap for 6 or whatever. I mean, it's insane. All my creatures can tap for mana now. Let me go ahead and find those answers. Casting creature spells every single turn. -2 real quick. And then every time you cast a creature spell, get to shuffle for a creature with less, cast your next creature, shuffle for a creature. You can cast every card in your deck and then swing. Crazy. There's haste emblems in here. I think we've already gone through it. Savage Herald. But what I did was I literally put every Planeswalker in green in this deck, and I think that that's the way to do it. I don't see a reason why you'd take any of these out. They're all value. Even the weakest one is that, Zhang Yanggu, and I still think that he is worth having in the deck. Savage Herald. Have all your creatures get to assign their combat damage as though Orin Block. That's a win con. Her ult, win con. Nature's Avenger. Less of a win con, but I mean, in a format where there's only 25 life, +10/+10 on something that you've already been buffing a little bit with Trample, win con. And if it's not a win con, then the +1 is going to put 6 +1/+1 counters on 1 creature. That's not bad either. Kolga, really good again, just for that one creature that's messing you up. If they've got one thing that's just got Death Touch or something, and you're just worried about being able to attack into their board, throw a Kolga out there, get it killed, I don't care. Or, throw them out, let them fight, and in response pay that 2 to, get your indestructible Kolga, bounce a human. There's a couple of humans in the deck. The Werewolf is a Souza. Lost But Seeking is a human. I don't think there are too many more, but there's a couple, so it's not at all impossible for you to run into. Yeah, I think it's just those 2, but even still. Beanstalk Giant, get that land drop. If everything's a land, I mean, this guy can get huge. This would be a great target for one of those trample spells. Colossification, it's a fine card. I mean, it's going to tap your thing, sure, but it's a mana sink at this point. I mean, I'm not going to play this. I'm not going to keep this in an opening hand. I'm not going to play it on something that I don't think I'm going to win with. But drop it on Vorinclex, and all of a sudden he's a 26/26 trample. Gnawbone's great card. We don't have a problem getting mana in this deck, but you may as well have every option for it, right? Tree Shaker Chimera's a win con. You play them. They've got a full board. You've got a full board. Swing with everything. They all have to block Chimera. You punch through. This is one of the key enablers of the deck. Ugin, you know, his neg X, if you really just need to wipe their things, you can ult him and just go ahead and reset your whole hand and really get into it. I've got a Lara the Hydra in here just because it's a green spell, or a green land, I mean, and then just the basic forest. So that's the general deck tech. Again, there's a few adjustments I could make. I don't necessarily need this Cobra in here. It's nice, but I don't necessarily need it. I just think that the Death Touch is cheeky. I don't need a Cosmos Elixir in the deck. I just think it's a good card. You could probably do without the Death Touch package if you had several cards you wanted in, but keep in mind those Infect counters, they get doubled too, so you only have to hit them with 3 Infect things with Vorinclex on the field versus 5, the normal clock you put them on. So it's, you know, it's definitely an option for you. I don't think greatness needs to be in the deck, but man, it comes in clutch sometimes, especially if you've drawn a whole bunch of stuff. And if nothing else, a scry every turn so you don't hit that shitty land drop when you're not looking for that. It's worth 2 mana, I think, for a scry every turn, in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what cards I need to be putting in my sideboard for that Vivian Reed. Let me know if there's any other decks you want to see me like rate, review, build. I don't have a crazy amount of wild cards, but I can save them up and build something that that would be a lot of fun. So just let me know, guys. It's been awesome talking to you guys, and hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the video. Thank you.